I spoke with former White House acting chief of staff and former director of the Office of Management and Budget, Mick Mulvaney, about the current state of the U.S. economy. He's got insight into the Federal Reserve's interest rate hikes and why he believes a recession may be inevitable. We had a very positive jobs report Friday. 372,000 new jobs this month. As someone who ran the Office of Management and Budget, what does that tell you about the state of the U.S. economy?
Yeah, it's a good number. As we used to tell folks when I ran the Office of Management and Budget, that we pretty much ignored, we didn't say it publicly, but we sort of hinted at, we ignored the unemployment rate, because the employment rate is the percentage of people that are looking for work who can't find it. So if I get laid off and I don't go looking for work, or I'm not admitting I'm looking for work, I don't count towards the unemployment rate, even though I'm not employed. So what we really look at is the raw numbers, and anything above 225, 250,000 a month is a really good number. So this 372 number is a number that any administration would be proud of. I think the Biden administration is rightly taking some credit for keeping things going, and I think the numbers are good numbers. In this unusual inflation environment, it sort of cuts both ways, however, in that now you've got more people with jobs, and people with jobs want to buy things, and the reason we have inflation is we have too many people trying to buy too few things. So this might just kick up pressures on inflation. That being said, I would tell you, if I was in the Office of Management and Budget today, knowing what I know about inflation and jobs numbers, I would always rather have more people working than fewer people working, and that's what we've got.
What is your prediction on the Fed's interest rate hikes?
Yeah, I think they're going to go higher. I think they'll have to go higher, go quickly. I think they're limited in how high they can ultimately go, because something that doesn't get discussed very much is that the largest borrower in the world is the federal government. And if the Fed takes rates too high, they could effectively bankrupt the federal government. You'll never see interest rates, I don't think, in the 12, 14, 16% like we did when I was a kid. That would bankrupt the federal government. So I do believe the Fed to be looking to raise interest rates fairly aggressively. But I think that there is a ceiling to how much they can do there, and they'll start looking to other terms, other tools they have available to them to try and bring inflation under control.
What's the ceiling, 5 or 6%?
Yeah, I mean, I hate to put a number on it, because then everybody, you prognosticate, you get wrong, and people say you're an idiot. But I would think anything above 6%, it's almost $2 trillion a year worth of borrowing. We owe $30 trillion. You get up much north of 6% on that money. And I know it's not dollar for dollar, it's not instant, but it's just ballpark. You're looking at almost $2 trillion a year in interest payments. And that's a stunning number. So in my mind, I don't know how they go higher than 6.
Is a soft landing still possible?
I don't think so, and I don't think it's really what they want. There's only two ways to fix inflation, which is to either lower demand for goods and services or increase the supply of goods and services. This administration is not showing much interest in increasing the supply of goods and services. So I think the Fed is going to look at it and say the only thing we can do is try and crush demand, and that's what they'll do. And crushing demand is effectively a recession. I think it's probably inevitable. I don't think it'll be very long-lived, but I think it's going to be necessary, and the only way to sort of get us out of this inflationary cycle.